Yes, last week Thursday, my colleague, Senator Dr. Titus Katengazan, brought a motion reporting killings of people in his constituency, particularly in West local government area of Benue State. His motion was not different from numerous motions we received in the Senate reporting killings of people by herdsmen. If you have followed my activities in this Senate, I've been very, very always upset with reports of massacre of human lives across Nigeria. The West experience is very touching to me. At all times, I will receive a report of killings in the West local government. The motion of last Thursday wasn't the first in this Senate, but 3 other times, killings of people by herdsmen have been reported to the Senate, taking place in the West local government area. But I recall with nostalgia in 2018 in the 8th Senate, when these herdsmen invaded one community and killed 17 people in a morning mass, including the priest and the catechist. You know, the Reverend Father celebrating the mass was killed, the catechist of the church was killed, then 17 worshippers at that morning mass were all killed, making it a total of 19 persons. At that day, I was in a rage because of the nature of the killings. And I called on Buhari, then president, to send soldiers immediately to that place. Because killing people in that manner, in a place of worship, should not be tolerated. Otherwise, you spark off religious fights in the country. You know. President Buhari sent soldiers to Benue as I demanded during that debate, and by weekend they got 4 people with AK-47 rifles and paraded them as being responsible for the mass murder of those people and the early morning mass worship. Unfortunately, since then we've not had anything again. What happened to those 4 men? They paraded on a Sunday on television. So when this motion came back on Thursday, it came the same local government. Of all the prayers contained in the motion paper, I did not see anyone that went to the root of the problem. These things happen because the people are not defended, they are not protected. So when headsmen come in with sophisticated rifles, they round them up and kill them without any help. You know, and I felt it was not enough to come to the Senate to ask for 1 minute silence, you know, in honor of the dead, and calling for relief materials from NEMA or agencies that do humanitarian services. That's not what they need. What they need is protection of their lives. And if you don't have security personnel that will ensure that these people are protected and defended, they will continue to be killed. So that was why when they exhausted the prayers in the motion paper, I asked for additional prayer. And when the Senate President recognized me to put forward the additional prayer, I called for the establishment of military presence, military base in that location. Because the people have been overrun severally in the past without any challenge. So the only way to ensure protection of the lives of the people of that area, that flank, way east, way west, it means that the activities of herders are very prominent in that location. And they continue to kill them like fowls, you know. So I felt that the people will need a military settlement in that location, so that the people can now sleep, or at least be assured that they cannot be taken unawares again. So that was why I called for that additional prayer, and I was happy that the motion was seconded immediately by Dr. Titus Sam, Senator. And unanimously, the Senate voted for the establishment of a military base in Umeh West local government area. If they send soldiers there and they have a base and a camp on a permanent basis, I believe that this incessant incursion by the headsmen and killing them either in the night or even during the day will stop. Otherwise there will be if such a thing happens again with military presence, then we'll have to investigate the complicity of the armed forces in what is happening in that flank. That flank has been suffering mass murder over the years. In 2018, 72 people were killed in one day in this very area between West and West East. They were killed and they were given mass burial. And incidentally, these people, majority of them were Catholics. They killed the priests, they killed the worshippers. So we cannot continue to pretend not to know what to do. It is like that, not only in Umeh West. All the places the headsmen have been on the rampage, killing people recklessly. There must be military bases established there. That's the only way to show seriousness that we want to contain the menace. Well, it's not everything that you treat with levity. This is life, and continuous killing and spilling of blood is not what this country can afford. We cannot allow human beings to be slaughtered like goats every day. There's no 3 months that will pass without a report of mass killing of people by the Fulani headsmen in Benue State, particularly in this flank, Umeh West, Umeh East local governments. So you cannot be treated with levity this time around. I have forwarded that motion and the prayer, the additional prayer which I got the Senate to accept and approved unanimously. I forwarded it to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. He's from there. So he has to join to follow up to ensure that the military base is established in that location. Because all of them, they are under threat. The SGF is here working in Abuja and they're killing his people. So he must use his influence as a very important person in government to ensure that this resolution is given effect. That is what he will do for his people. It's not only tiling of roads and building hospitals or anything that the people need. Security of lives and property remain the first line of responsibility of government. So I believe he's been worried about this, and from the report of Senator Zam, even Senator Zam's house was destroyed. So this rampage in his place, this additional prayer for the establishment of military base in that location should come to him as a relief. So it's what he will now use to ask government to do the needful. But that's the only thing to do. So they are lucky to have the Secretary to the Government of the Federation coming from their place. So we have armed him with this resolution of the Senate for him to approach even the Chief of Army Staff to give that resolution compliance for the sake of his people. I believe it will be so.
Is it
to even call on everybody to take the issue of mass killing of people by headsmen very seriously. we should be able to live in peace in Nigeria with anybody. Whether you are Chief, Yoruba, Igbo, Fulani, Hausa, Ishekiri. We can live together. We are human beings. We are not animals. So everybody values human life. And if some people pretend that life does not have any meaning to them, and they should be told the truth. That is why I was disappointed when I saw on television where one young man from from Adamawa State, Sunday Jackson, was his death sentence was confirmed by the Supreme Court. Yes. I felt very embarrassed by that type of judgment by the Supreme Court. If a headsman attacked Sunday Jackson in his farm, that was the report. Attacked him with a knife, stabbed him on the leg, and gave him wounds, and the man struggled with him for his life, got the hold of the knife, dispossessed the headsman that attacked him with the knife, and in self-defense stabbed the man because they were fighting, and the injuries the headsman sustained led to his death. And they arrested him, somebody in his farm, and somebody came to attack him in his farm, to kill him, and was able to manage to escape by overpowering the attacker, and they now arraigned him for murder. That he killed the man. That the High Court said that now that he took the knife from him, that he would have fled. Where would you imagine he would be fleeing to? Do you know when other people will lay ambush around us and apprehend him again and kill him? So the Supreme Court affirmed his death sentence, and it is a mockery of the effort we are making to checkmate the activities of headsmen who go to people's farms, overrun them, kill them, and up to today we are still grappling with the problem. It is like that everywhere, both in Kogi, in Nasarawa, in Plateau, wherever. They kill people recklessly. And even this one now, that even God will not be happy with. The Supreme Court of Nigeria affirmed that the man should be hanged. Somebody who was in his family. And the stranger came to attack him, to kill him. He managed to survive, escape, and overpowered his attacker, and used the attacker's knife that was confirmed to be belonging to his assailant to stab him in self-defense. Our court, our highest court in Nigeria, affirmed that somebody who in self-defense inadvertently overpowered his assailant and killed him. In a battle of self-defense, there's no guilt on the part of the man who was to be killed. So turning it around is the most unfortunate thing to happen. So that judgment, I condemn it in its entirety for being a gross miscarriage of justice. And I want to use this opportunity also to call on Mr. President Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to take note of this incident, this judicial murder by the Supreme Court of Nigeria, to grant Sunday Jackson state pardon. They should not hang him for any reason. Because this would be a case of double jeopardy, where you go to a man's farm, destroy his crops, try to take his life. He survived the attack, and through a judicial process, our judiciary unleashed such miscarriage of justice on the man and said he should be sentenced, he should be hanged. I've never seen a thing like this before. I will tell you that I approve wholeheartedly what the governor has done. You see, people don't place weight on what affects other people negatively. for a long time, our people have been under severe and aggressive criminal activities by these criminals, kidnappers, and they kill people. Sometimes you see them post videos of people that are beheading, collecting money. In an Anambra state that is known to have been a cradle of civilization in Igbo land, Anambra state has produced the greatest men ever had in the history of Nigeria. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Chinua Achebe, LP Ojukwu, who was the richest man in Nigeria at the time. Of course, Odumegwu Ojukwu, his son, the former head of state of Biafra, from Anambra State. Cyprian Ekwensi, professors of various cadre, Professor Kennedy Dike, the first Nigerian Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan. Who have we not produced? Professor Chikobi, the great mathematician. Professors everywhere, every corner of Anambra State, till date. And suddenly miscreants took over our state. You can't go home. Anybody they get, they kill him, or kill her. They collect ransoms. The people run away. The state that has millionaires and billionaires in this country, people are no longer going in. So, when the governor was under attack, I remember one incident when 12 people, 16 people were killed in a community in my constituency, Nibu, in Oka South local government area. I issued a statement and called the governor to sit up. Yes. That he was failing the people of Anambra State. The security is his first obligation to the state, not the tiring of roads, like I previously said in this interview. The first thing he will do is to provide security to the people. People can manage poverty, but they cannot manage violent crime. So from what the governor has now done, he went into very deep investigations with his people and other stakeholders that helped to look into the matter. It's not only the governor that is fighting crime now. There are stakeholders that are helping to cleanse the state, because the thing has affected everybody, from the highest to the lowest. And from the investigations, it turned out that native doctors were involved in some of these criminal activities, preparing charms for kidnappers that bullets cannot enter their body. Or they tell you to go and get human head. They will prepare a charm for you, so that if you go to an operation, you will succeed. You will not be arrested. Many of them were doing it, and they were posting videos. We started seeing native doctors that are millionaires, driving luxurious cars, building mansions. You see them in music, they go to a function, they spray money like anything. So the native doctors we grew up knowing as young people were very poor people. Native doctors were never rich in any Igbo society, because one, they observed natural laws, natural that you cannot spill blood. They can do rituals for you using fowl. If they charge you goat, it means that the work they're doing for you is very big. So the normal thing they use is fowls, little things that cost nothing. And you see that they really never had money. They lived in very poor houses, not in mansions. They lived in thatched houses and all that. But today, you see native doctors living in mansions. So when they identified these people and went on a crackdown on them through this new security operation the governor launched in the last 1 month. The state is peaceful now. So it shows that what he did hit the target. You can't see, I've not heard about kidnapping in Anambra State in the past 3 weeks. But before it was a daily or hourly occurrence. If it's happening on Onitsha, it's happening in Nnewi, it's happening in Umeh, happening in Awka. Simultaneously, in a day, you can record about 20 kidnap cases. Violent kidnap cases. So now we have not had anything again. So anybody who is criticizing that security effort by the governor is insincere. If you're a native doctor, you must be seen to be applying that thread the way you used to know it. Either you are treating people of diseases, ailments, and all that using herbs, because they were called herbalists before. They use herbs and roots, to prepare drugs. They can give you drink it, you get fine. If it's malaria or things, that was the type of thing they were doing before. This new wave of native doctors that were doing concoctions for wealth to come, they are fake people. There's no way you can use such practices to command wealth to come to somebody. We didn't see it in the past. So if they are now known for practices that deceive the youths, you come and then you become a millionaire and you go to kill people, to take ransom and do all manners of things. It's no longer what a native doctor should be doing. It's no longer what a native doctor. So I commend the governor for that initiative. I fully support Agune Chamber, that security approach. And I thank some stakeholders that I know that try to get involved to help to sanitize our state. So our state is returning back to us. So anybody who is against it can carry the native doctors to his own state or his own community. Let them go and stay with them and be commanding wealth for them, using ladies and children to perform rituals for them to get money. People who are not native doctors, they call themselves pastors. Okay. And if you look into what they do, they are just like native doctors as well. Because I've never seen how you can go and collect women and men and take them to a stream, and everybody will strip naked. You'll be taking part in a stream. You'll be doing incantations for you to make money, And you see people going there naked, taking part in a stream to be rich. So such pastor, which Bible does he read? Where in the Bible is that verse found? That if you want to be rich, you go to the river and bath naked and be throwing fowls into the stream. So the money will come from the stream. So I've never seen anything like that. So such people should be rounded up, and sent to jail. You just round them up and put them in jail so that we shall arrest. So if your preaching is not based on the word of God, things you can leave from the scriptures, then you start burning candles, you start using pigeons, start killing fowls and all this. You are a native doctor already, no longer a pastor. So there are so many in the states, so many shrines in Anambra State. If you have been following activities of the Agune Chamber, you see how many shrines they have discovered where people or where the kidnappers set up their camps. Their camps had shrines. So what they are doing there are no longer normal things. So they just a sculpture, something like a mommy water carrying snakes. They position it there, they worship it. And from there, when they flee, they carry their guns and go into the city or into the towns to carry people and go back and retire to the bush. So all those camps have been destroyed. That's why the state is having a breather now. Because we were all of us were all gone. Nobody was going home again. So as we move on, people will continue to develop confidence again, and they can go home and go out again without any molestation. So that's it. The governor should increase the pace and provide greater support to this security outfit. There's a saying in my place that when an animal runs dangerously, you shoot the animal without aiming it properly. So that's what is happening in Igbo land. They call it Anubaya. So these people have taken our states in the southeast from all of us. So every reasonable person has left the southeast because of the activities. So, and I thank the governors are trying. It was terrible in the last 2 years, but it was a fierce battle, to recover the southeast from these criminal elements. People who eat human beings, they do it and put it on social media. You tie a lady and cut the neck, the head off, film it, and put it in the social media. And you'll be wondering, sometimes I say these things are not happening in the Southeast, but you hear them speaking in Igbo when they're killing people. So it means that the Igbo people are the people doing it, not Fulani henchmen. So the governors have tried so much. In Enugu State, where I live in Enugu State for 44 years. That place is very safe now. There was a time these things were happening in the 5 southeast states at the same time. So you don't know where to run to. If you to go to Imo State from Anambra State, there is no way to connect because all the border towns were taken over by criminals. But the government has done so well. Most people, dangerous people, have been arrested because we've been seeing them, paraded, and that's why the place is peaceful. There is one community called Awoidemili in Imo State. That Awoidemili, there was a video I saw, I watched, where you see skeletons of human beings in the forest. People that have been killed over time. So many people will be wondering how we could get to that level. So the Abia governor is fighting with those from Abia. Hope Uzodimma, governor of Imo State, is fighting with them in Imo State. Governor Mbai is fighting with them in Enugu. Governor Muifu Francis is fighting with them in Ebonyi. In Anambra is now a demonstration because the place was worst hit, and now we appear to be getting gradually out of it. So that's what it should be, and the federal government will still have their own contributions to make to support the governors to clean up the zone completely.
Thank you very much. Thank you.